In our fast-paced, logic-driven world, depression is often viewed solely through a clinical or emotional lens. But when we pause and look deeper, through a metaphysical and esoteric lens, we uncover more than just sadness. Depression is a signal, a calling, and even a breakdown in emotional alchemy. The word depression comes from Latin deprimere, meaning to press down. It's not just a passive state. It suggests energy is being forced downward. But what's being pushed down? Feelings, desires, truth, authentic self-expression. This suppression is often the root of emotional imbalance. It's not just sadness. It's something inside that's been denied voice, breath, or movement. Let's get a better understanding of depression, repression, and suppression. These terms are often used interchangeably, but are energetically distinct. Depression is the result of emotional energy being held down over time, usually from unacknowledged or unmet feelings. Repression is an unconscious burying of emotion, often from early trauma or childhood defense mechanisms. Suppression is a conscious decision to push emotions aside temporarily, to cope or avoid discomfort. Each blocks emotional flow, but the awareness behind them varies. What they share is emotional invalidation, either from others or ourselves. Depression is often relational. Depression isn't always just about inner conflict. It's also about emotional dissonance between self and others. When our emotional truth is dismissed, ignored, or shamed, we begin to internalize the idea that our feelings are too much, unsafe, or unworthy. Common scenarios are grief that is met with silence, joy is being dismissed, and needs are being minimized. This creates a pattern of emotional self-abandonment. But here's a hard truth. No one is obligated to validate our emotions. That doesn't mean we don't deserve empathy, but it does mean we must stop outsourcing emotional wellness. This shift is painful, but freeing. Healing begins when we stop waiting for others to rescue our feelings and start honoring them ourselves. Feelings are messengers of the soul, not burdens to fix, but truths to embrace. Antidepressants and the paradox of suppression, like pharmaceuticals, especially SSRIs, aim to manage depressive symptoms. While sometimes necessary for stability, they often mute the very emotions that need to be acknowledged. From a metaphysical view, depression arises from emotional suppression. Medication can deepen disconnection if the root wound remains unhealed. Medication may stabilize, but true healing requires inner work, emotional processing, spiritual reconnection, and nervous system regulation. Our nervous system and the call for rest is that the nervous system is the bridge between emotions and the body. Unprocessed emotions like grief or shame dysregulated, leading to fatigue, anxiety, numbness, and brain fog. Spiritually, depression can be a sacred call to rest. A pause, a soulful retreat where the body and spirit realign. Let's dive into real-life reflections 1. The overachiever who burned out, Maria, a high-performing executive, always prioritized others. Her depression revealed a truth. She had never honored her own desires. 2. The child who wasn't allowed to cry. Darren was raised to see emotions as weakness. In therapy, he uncovered repressed grief and anger that had quietly festered for decades. And 3. The partner who was ignored. Ava's emotional needs were constantly dismissed by her partner. She sank into silent sadness until she realized she had to validate herself, regardless of others. Here are tools for healing depression. 1. Emotional journaling. Write freely, letting your inner child speak. 2. Somatic practices. Breathwork, EFT, or gentle movement to release trapped energy. 3. Creative expression. Paint, dance, sing, let the energy move. 4. Nature immersion. The earth restores us. Walk barefoot, sit in stillness. 5. Therapeutic support. Seek help from a therapist or metaphysical guide. 6. Reparenting work. Be the loving presence your younger self needed. 7. Radical responsibility. Own your feelings. Stop waiting for someone else to fix them. 8. Depression invites collapse, but within that collapse is a portal, a chance to awaken. No tool, guide, or medicine can work without your sacred yes. You must choose, again and again, to rise, not by force, but with grace. You are not weak for feeling. You are powerful when you allow those feelings to move through you. Depression is not a flaw. It is a divine message. Something within needs to be felt, honored, and released. It is not the end. It is an initiation. When you allow the pressed down parts of yourself to rise, you don't just heal, you remember who you are. If this message resonates, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Tap the notification bell so you never miss an update.